everybody. Welcome back once again to the RetroGameFix.com Retro Jones podcast number 98. This is your host, Mitch.
And this is your best friend, Michael Allen.
And also the host.
and also the host in a roundabout way.
So, Mike, why don't you, before we get started here, why don't you go ahead and give the contact information?
Twitter.com/RetroGameFix, YouTube.com/RetroGameFix, Facebook.com/RetroGameFix, or questions at RetroGameFix.com, or we love voicemail, 678-995-5103, 678-995-5103. We will play some voicemails one of these days, now that we can. Just haven't got around to it yet. So
that's right. We haven't been able to do it for like a year.
Yeah, it's been a while. So continue to leave those voicemails, and then when we can, we will get around to those. So maybe we'll just do like a whole episode of voicemails, maybe.
I like that. I like where you're going. Maybe for episode 100.
100.
Which we're very close to, by the way.
Maybe for episode 69.
Yeah, well, we still haven't done 69, and we've been promising that one for, I can't do the math right now, but that many episodes, 30 episodes almost, 29?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah. I
mean, yeah. So,
because we did a couple, 69 and a half, 69 and 3/4,
Yeah.
So
technically, we've done over 100 podcasts already, but we kind of got caught up there in the 69, episode 69. So anyway... Mike, what's been going on? So it's been, I guess, 2 weeks here.
Yeah, been a few weeks. We, you were out of town, and then last week there were some pending changes at work on my end, so I was a little stressed out. And then I didn't do myself any favors for that this week, but I'm not going to get into that. So yeah, I mean, we're just rolling. I got. Man, I don't know. I played a bunch of games. I did a bunch of things. Some racing stuff, some Vita stuff, some 3DS stuff, some selling, some acquiring. Man, all over the board. But yeah, I don't know, man. What do you got going on?
Oh, I got some big news.
It's a big one.
I got some big news, and it's not. It's actually stems from a previous man-sized predicament. I don't even remember the last time we did, and I'm not, okay, that's not coming out right. Last time we did a podcast, I don't remember if I had actually ordered this or not, but...
You did not order it at the time. I don't think you did. I think I was trying to talk you into it at the time.
Well, it's funny because the next weekend, I was under control in the situation. Like I said, I kind of used the analogy last time, like, it's like a dam that's got a hole in it, and you try to plug it with one finger, and then another one pops out, and you stick another finger in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the way my brain was working at that time. So I was totally set on, I know this is the last one I'm probably ever going to find in Great Britain, but I'm not going to do it yet until I have the money to do it. I'm going to be responsible about this. And I helped a friend move a Shadow pinball machine, which is awesome. And it's got the Williams diamond coated playfield, which is basically like a clear coat. And it looked amazing. And I was like, and the guy also had a pinbot over at his house that he wanted like a lot for. And it was actually in a lot better condition than my pinbot, which my pinbot was not in the greatest condition. So it doesn't take a whole lot, but it was in really good, original condition. So I was totally like, my buddy was just jokingly saying, well, it looks way better than yours. And I was like, not for long. So anyway, after that whole excursion, when I saw the Shadow playfield and stuff, I was just basically trying to one up my friend. And I went ahead and ordered this playfield. So this Repro Pinbot playfield that was by CPR, Classic Playfield Reproductions. It's awesome.
It's mind-boggling. I just want to say real quick that before we get into the details, they have some Harry Potter-ass magic on shipping.
Yeah. So I was getting to that. Exactly.
Okay.
So I ordered this thing, I think, Saturday night. Maybe we did do a podcast. I don't know. Maybe that was the day before our podcast. I don't remember.
I don't know, but it's worth rehashing. It's worth rehashing again. It's been a while. This is what we do.
So anyway, I order it Saturday night, of course. So like, it's not being sent yet. So that Monday, I get the shipping notification from the people in Great Britain, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And they're like, it's shipped. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, well, it'd probably be like 2 weeks, right? What would you expect something to take from like something big like that? You have a bulk shipment like that. I mean, you'd think it's coming at least oversized. I would assume. Yeah. I would assume at least 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, right. And not to mention, doesn't it have to clear customs as well? Yeah, I think so. So I had I assume all this stuff. Yes. So, it's coming from Great Britain. They're with the pound, and the pound's at the time was about $1.25 to a US dollar. So, I paid, I think $39 or 39 pounds shipping. So it was probably like $50 or something. Right. So anyway, remember, this is on Monday. I get the shipping notification. I'm like, it'll probably be 1 to 2 weeks, whatever. So I looked through it was like Parcel Hero or something like that was being sent through. And I was like, okay, wait, there's an expected date. Look, let's say it was, this is not the right date or I don't remember what the date was, but let's say November 17th or something like that. It was shipped. And on the thing, it says expected delivery date, November 18th. And I was like, no, November 18th of next year.
The best part was you called me and you were like, yeah, I bought that playfield. I'm like, of course you did. Why wouldn't you? It's about time, right? We've talked about this before, but it's always like a matter of time. Once the thing sets in for either of us that we buy something. But yeah. I was like, of course you did. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, here's the thing. It's going to be here tomorrow. I don't believe this. But like the thing says the expected delivery date's tomorrow. I'm like, I had to double check the year to make sure it wasn't like, what did I say? November 18th of like 2017 or something like that. Right. So
anyways, I was like, there's no way this thing gets here. I'm checking it all day and stuff and following the progress. It's like been picked up, this and that. And then, it was going through, I think FedEx was the U.S. carrier that it went through or whatever. So
it's still mind boggling to me, by the way.
Well, I mean, at this time, I'm like, there's no way. If I'm lucky, I'll get it through, I'll get it like next week or something like that. So anyway, I wake up in the like 5:30 in the morning or something like that, and I see shipment has arrived in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was like, what? I was like, no way, no way.
Is this really happening?
Is this really happening? So like, I go back to bed, wake up again, maybe 8 o'clock. It says 7:30 arrived in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm like, no, because the thing says that it will be at my house by like 10:30 or something like that. And I was like, no way. So I was just doing some work and stuff, and 10 o'clock on the dot rolls around and my doorbell rings. I was like, no effing way. Go down, and there it is. It got all the way from Great Britain to my house in less than 24 hours.
It's mind blowing.
I know that's possible, but like, look, I didn't need it in a day. I wanted it in a day.
That's mind-boggling to me. I'm still surprised when Amazon Prime Now gets toilet paper to my house within 2 hours.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still surprised. Like, I just ordered toilet paper on Amazon Prime Now because we got snow. It was like, that's not going to get here. That's not going to get here in 2 hours. Boom, Amazon Prime Now shows up with toilet paper in the middle of snow.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
That's the equivalent. I was like, and I see it leave, and then I see it track, and then I see that, such and such is on the way with my toilet paper. And I'm like, there's no fucking way someone's bringing me toilet paper in the middle of this.
Oh, I hope they're getting paid well to bring you toilet paper.
I feel bad. Sidetrack. I only tipped the recommended $5. I feel like I always just tip the recommended $5.
You had to tip $5 for toilet paper?
Well, you always tip.
I know. I get that.
But the price savings for the toilet paper offsets what it would have cost if I would have went to the grocery store to get it.
Oh, I see.
So it was the same price, but I didn't have to leave the house, and someone else had to leave. So anyway, whatever. Long story short, mind-boggling. You essentially got toilet papered overnight from Great Britain.
Well, it's a lot better than toilet paper, but I see where you're going with that.
Hey, how's that pizza?
I gotta warn you guys that within 1 minute and 22 seconds, we're gonna have to take a little break so I can go take a pizza out of the oven. But
what kind
I'll
of
let
pizza?
you know
What kind of pizza? Let's just talk this out real quick. What kind of pizza you have?
I think it's like bacon and something. I'm not really sure. It was like one that from the store that's like Rising Crust or something. Usually they're like, meh, okay. But
you ever get bacon and onion? Obviously, you can't get that from the store, but bacon and onion.
No, I love both of those ingredients.
Yeah, I get bacon and onion sometimes.
That sounds pretty good. Where do you get that from? Like a pizza place or something?
Yeah, I mean, if I get like Papa John's or something like that. Otherwise, pepperoni, bacon, and onion. The onion, just for some reason, I just like to add.
I love it, dude.
Little onion to it. It really goes. People are said that sounds disgusting. I'm like, yo, don't knock it till you try it. The onion is the key differentiator.
It's so good. That's the thing. Whenever I make like pizza at home or something, like from scratch or whatever, like I'm like, I don't have any ingredients. Oh, well, I have onions. And I was like, that's the only ingredient I need. Yeah, I mean, as far as like toppings, right?
Yeah, onions are phenomenal.
Onions are great on pizza, and pineapple is also great on pizza, I would say.
Pineapple is awesome. It's all, pineapple. Man, pineapple. I got to be honest. I don't think there's much that I don't like on a pizza.
That's true.
But,
Well, that being said, we're going to take just a little break here. So all bullshitting aside, so I can go get the pizza out of the oven. So we'll be back in just a second to continue this riveting story about a playfield.
All right, we're back. How's the pizza? So that I did not do any. I'm not doing any break music here.
Okay.
So it's literally 1 second passed since you said you needed to go get a pizza, and now you have the pizza. So how is the pizza?
I'm checking it out. It's pretty good. It's white chicken and bacon.
It's a classic. It's a white sauce, I assume.
Yeah, white sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid choice. I always like to add mushrooms to.
Yeah, I love mushrooms. I love anything on pizza. I really do.
Yeah, pizza's fucking delicious.
I'd probably even eat anchovies on pizza, even though I've never eaten it, and it sounds disgusting. So anyway, so the other part of that. So I got this as we left off like 5 seconds ago. Got this playfield overnight. And this makes me think of it too, because like literally I've been keeping an eye. I said this last time too. I've been keeping an eye on these CPR reproduction playfields that I think they were released in 2012 or 13. So there aren't that many left for sale that people haven't used. I've been keeping a couple in my site, at least like bookmarks. So I'll check them every once in a while that were in the States that I could have bought. And both of them were gone within 3 days of me buying my Pinbot. So I was like, what the hell? That's how I came across this one in Great Britain. So, it made me think of it too. After shipping and all that stuff, even with the conversion rate and all that, I still paid the same amount as I would have in the States. And it would have taken longer to have gotten my playfield had I ordered it from one of the places in the States. So take that for what it's worth as well. So anyway, I'm not going to take up the entire podcast with the story, but
that's still mind-boggling to me.
I still can't believe it. I still feel like it's like a dream or something. So anyway, so I got this thing, and then that was Thanksgiving week, that Monday or Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. So I was like, well, I can't start this now because if I start, I'm not going to want to stop it, and I don't want to leave a bunch of crap at my house because I'm going to be out of town. So anyway, I waited until the following Monday. I have no idea how I waited that long, but I did. Or Tuesday or whenever I got back. I think I got back on Monday. I don't know. Whenever I got back. So I started it that week. And that entire week, I worked on it for so many hours. I put about 40 to 50 hours. No kidding. 40 to 50 hours into swapping stuff from the old playfield. Like taking it all off and putting it all in the new one and drilling holes in the new one and all that crap. Oh my God, I was broken by Sunday. I was like, my body was like I think I finished it at like 10:30 on Sunday morning, and my body was just like broken. I mean, I couldn't even like stand up basically, because once I start something like that, I can't stop it until I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, though. It's amazing. It's freaking amazing. I wish you could see it. It's like astounding. I mean, it's like totally worth all the money and the pain and the, tedious hours that I put into it and stuff. And every time I do something like this and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to be done with this. Like, I'm like, I want to do another one, like right afterwards. Like
now that now that you went through it, you're like, oh damn, what else can I do this with?
Yeah, I'm like, I want to do that with every single one of mine, even if they don't need it. Like the Roller Coaster Tycoon doesn't even need a new playfield, but I'm like, I can find one on Marco Specialties.com for $600, and I can totally do that. But anyway, that was stupid. So, anyways, it's Pandora's box as far as that goes. But man, it's freaking beautiful. So, when I plugged it in, I didn't expect everything to work perfectly. There's a little issue with, I'm telling you, I did thousands of things, and I tumbled all the metal parts in a rock tumbler, so they're perfect. They look awesome, like brand new, or better than brand new, if that's the thing. I don't know, but there's 2 fuses on the bottom of the playfield, and I was like, the one thing I didn't check because I didn't I'm like, well, they never had to change the fuses in the bottom of the playfield. Why would they? So one of them was rated for 2.5 amps, and there was a 5 amp fuse in there. So unbeknownst to me, so I've never rebuilt pop bumpers before, and there's a little leaf switch underneath that's really, really close to each other, but not touching normally. Well, they were touching, and the coils popped on as soon as I booted up a game and didn't turn off. So that blew through that fuse and, of course, screwed up some of my board. So after all that work on the playfield and stuff, now I added X amount of time to fixing my board. So I got everything pretty much taken care of as far as that goes. I'm waiting for one more part, a snubber relay board that I should get tomorrow. And then at last, I'll be able to play Pinbot on my new Pinbot. But right now, it's just been like able to come up in a track mode. There's like 4 coils that don't work right now. So, oh man, I'm not choking on pizza, I promise. So anyway, I've just been booting it up into a track mode.
Choking on the D.
Yeah, that too. No. So anyway, I've been putting it on a track mode, just booting it up so all the lights are on and stuff, and just like looking at it for like 30 minutes at a time. It's pathetic, but oh my God, it's beautiful, dude. It's like if I'm a bug and I see like a really bright light, that's the effect it has on me.
Right, you're just like, I need to see it.
So anyway, that's my big story in a nutshell. So, Mike, what about you? You've got some stuff.
Man, so, let's start here. So, I think on last podcast we had talked about, or at least I tweeted it out. I don't know if we got a chance to talk about it, but how I have some collectibles and some things that I've collected retro gaming wise over the years that I just no longer play or am not going to play. And in order to facilitate purchases in other areas of my hobbies, that I was going to get rid of some of that stuff.
Was that part of the man-sized predicament?
No. No,
we did talk about that.
Yeah. Yes, it was technically part of it. Yeah, you're right. So anyway, I did get rid of some of my stuff. So I've started listing some of the Atari stuff, some of it sold. And I think we had talked about that a little bit. I also sold my Zelda Nintendo 3DS. And so I got rid of that. And I think the one thing that, maybe is worth talking about, and we've talked about this in the past, is, real
quick. What did the 3DS go for?
$190.
Nice.
So I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we've talked about this in the past, and the one thing on Twitter I tried to make clear was, and I'm going to be careful here because I've poo-pooed and started shit with other podcasts before, and that's never my intent. If other podcasts are on the internet and they put their voices out there and I don't agree with them being a public voice, I'm going to challenge them on things, regardless of the fact that we have this podcast. But that said, there has been podcasts in the past that I've listened to and that have been a topic of conversation on this show about I sold my collection, and then all of a sudden the conversation about collecting changes to how collecting is not a relevant hobby or something that is worth doing anymore. We've had the conversation about that's essentially the definition of a sellout.
Oh, okay.
You see where I'm going with that?
You kind of weirded it.
I did weird it because I'm trying to be less abrasive in the community, but that's come up. And so when I turn around and sell things, I want to make it clear that I'm not selling things to get out of the hobby. I'm selling things to reinvest in the hobby, and we've talked about that many times.
You're selling stuff you're not interested in, like for that hobby, for stuff that you are interested in the hobby.
Exactly. And so I got rid of the Atari stuff. I got rid of the 3DS stuff. And what I did end up going and doing was I picked up a few more Pervy Vita games. So those are cool. I haven't played any of them, but they're Pervy nice. Vita games. And then I'm also going to be picking up to kind of segue, I took my 50-inch monitor, 4K monitor off my wall where I was doing PC gaming, and I mounted that to my racing seat. And then I found out that the 50-inch is a little too big for the racing seat, so I'm going to reinvest some of that money and do a 40-inch among a whole bunch of other things. But, dude, the racing cockpit that I have, that I was using to game in front of the theater screen.
Right.
I wish I wouldn't have been so committed to that theater screen. Because now I just have my play seat, and I haven't taken pictures yet because I want to wait till I get a different monitor. I just literally just have my play seat just chilling, like right up against a wall, with my monitor mounted to it.
Okay.
And I can I just sit down, jump in, boot up the Xbox or the PC or anything, and I'm going. And having that kind of resolution right in your face.
So is it because of the 4K or what?
Well, it's not really necessarily because of the 4K. It's just having, a 50-inch TV 2.5 feet from your face while you're playing racing games on it, right? Where with the theater screen, for those that have seen pictures or maybe haven't, I've got the 110-inch theater screen in the basement, and like that was really cool just based on like size alone. But I always had to either like have the lights down, or the contrast wasn't quite right, or it didn't look as good as it should, or the input lag was off. Like now I just have it like right by my stuff. My God, it's the only way to play.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So anyway, I did that. And yeah, I'm kind of connecting loose dots here between the fact that I'm a little rusty on the podcast front here, between the fact that I sold a bunch of stuff and I'm reallocating to my racing rig. But man, it's real cool. Other than the 50 inches like slightly too big to have right in front of me. So I'm probably going to grab a 4K 40 inch to hook up on it.
So you have it mounted to your, it's not a problem being 50 inches to mount it to your seat.
Right. So there's a like a mountable monitor thing that you can throw into that racing seat and put it right up front. That's not the problem. It's just that the 50 inches just a little big when it's that
right,
close.
where you find yourself like looking left and right just to see forward or something.
Yeah, it's just a little too much. Yeah. So I did that. So that's been a ton of fun. And then it was funny because on YouTube I realized my Ubuntu racing seat video versus the play seat Video now has like 16,000 views.
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea why. We've now made like $1, so that's fun. So that's fun.
I was gonna say like an extra 10 cents.
Yeah, we made like $1, but anyway, there's some things around that. But apparently, YouTube changed their algorithm to support videos that have positive engagement via comments and likes and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if maybe that's why it kind of perked up. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with the racing stuff, and I wish I wouldn't have been so committed to, my theater screen thing, up until now. But I'm kind of, with the size TVs are getting and the price that they are, I don't think, we're probably going to move in the next 6 to 18 months, depending on what we can sell the house for. But I don't think I'm going to grab another theater screen. I think I'll just leave it here if people want it.
Right on.
And so,
it's cool for a while, but.
Well, it's just nice now. So it's like, I'm going to do racing. All right, I'm going to go just sit down in this thing. I don't need to move it around. I don't need to run the USB cable. I don't need to get the projector turned on. I don't need to wait for it to boot up. It makes it so much more convenient. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so there's that. I bought gigantic headphones.
Yeah, I saw that. So what's the story on that?
And so...
how many pairs of headphones have you bought this year?
Fuck, I don't know. Way too many. But anyway, I finally locked down on 2 pair that kind of serve different sound signatures. So I've got the Sennheiser HD800s that I'm running off of a Bottlehead Crack Tube amp, which doesn't mean anything to most people at this point, but
it doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest.
No, it's a great pairing though. Like they're a very analytical headphone.
Yeah.
And then these Odyssey LCD2s that I bought are normally anywhere from a $700 to a $1,000 pair of headphones that were on sale on Black Friday for $500 for B stock. They oversold their B stock, and instead of being dicks and canceling orders, they honored the order by sending me a brand new pair.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I essentially got a brand new pair of headphones for brand new $1,000 pair of headphones for $500.
Dang.
So that was super cool of them. And they are a more warm pair of headphones. They're not as analytical. They're more of a musical headphone. And man, they're fucking awesome. So yeah, I kind of lucked out there too. So
oh, that's kick ass.
That was kind of the last few weeks, and I played a ton of games. Not enough to maybe analyze and elaborate, but there's a ton of stuff coming out. Yeah. A ton of stuff came out, I guess I should say. So
right on. Well, like what?
Well, I beat Gears of War 4.
You beat it?
Yes.
Nice.
Gears of War was really good. There was a act. So there's 5 acts with multiple chapters. The third act is pretty exhausting by the time you get done with it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but by the end of it, I was like... And then Act 4 and 5 were mind-blowing. Just awesome. And then The Last Guardian came out, which was in development for like 10 years by Sony.
Oh, yeah. I remember years ago.
Yeah, that finally came out. Man, that game is really good.
What is the path on that thing? What's the progression?
I don't even know how to... Really, it's a puzzle game.
I mean, not necessarily that, but I'm saying of the actual game. Like, why did it take 10 years?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows?
No, I think it maybe started out as like a concept prior to the PS3 release.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing, based on how it runs on the PlayStation 4, that they weren't able to get it running correctly on the PS3. Mm-hmm. And then they never canceled it. And then they just kept developing it, and there was changes in leadership and commitments from the developers and the producer and things like that. And man, it came out though, and I really, really like it. I mean, it's a great game. It's crazy. It's like this puzzle game with like, you know, a giant dog, cat, bird companion thing. But people that are complaining about the graphics and the controls are kind of missing the point of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and,
really.
You know, and it's a puzzle game that it doesn't control great. And it's not. I think the art direction is phenomenal, and I think it's beautiful. What I'm finding is it seems like there's a lot of people that wanted to hate on it.
Yeah.
And they're finding reasons to do so. And it's really good. It's really good. So I'm not going to spoil anything. I'll give it a couple weeks because I haven't finished it yet. I'm only about 5 hours in. So there's that. I also picked up a game called Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Okay.
You need to get this, Mitch.
All right. What is it on?
It's on Vita, PlayStation 4, and I believe it's on PC. I think it's on Steam.
Okay. Well, I could get it on 2 of those platforms.
Yeah. So it's you can get it on Vita?
I guess so, right?
Do you have a Vita?
Yeah.
When did you get? Oh, yeah, you do have a Vita. Dude, it's $5 right now. I bought it on Vita. You got to get it.
I'll just buy it on Vita.
Yeah, it's $5 right now. It's usually $15. It's on sale until the 16th, I believe. Actually, I think it's only on sale until tomorrow. Go get it. So essentially, it's like an 8-bit dungeon crawling rhythm game.
Rhythm game?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like Parappa the Rapper or something like that?
Yes, but...
dating myself there.
Yeah. Well, they just announced they're re-releasing Parappa the Rapper 20th Anniversary Edition, if you want to feel
I still remember the rhymes in that.
Yeah. So anyway, this game, and this is, I'm sure so many people have played this by now because it's been out for a while, but it's a rhythm game where you have a heart basically at the center screen of the bottom of the Vita, and there's essentially a row of notes, but they're not notes. They're just like lines that are going like essentially at quarter notes, right? So it's just like dun, 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 right? Essentially for a heartbeat. But you need to move your guy on note, right? So when you move your guy or your gal or however I think it's a female protagonist, you're moving her and going like, if you need to move so imagine a Zelda dungeon.
Yep.
But instead of just moving up, down, left, right whenever you want, you move up, down, left, right on a beat. But all of the enemies also move on a beat.
I see.
So as you plan your thing, it's really fucking good.
Huh.
It's really good. You gotta check it out. For $5, it's totally worth it. So I played a lot of that actually, just kind of on and off this afternoon. While the Vikings were on. So check out Crypt of the Necrodancer. Super fun. So
Crypt of the Necrodancer?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to check that out tonight.
Yeah. So that's really good. So yeah, I mean, I kind of fired through a bunch of stuff because I didn't have a plan coming into this podcast, but.
No, that's awesome.
It's kind of what I got. I don't know.
Well, There's still a window open for possibly getting a Ghostbusters pinball.
Yeah. I think you mentioned this to me.
I mentioned it to you, and I may have mentioned like a different. I'll find out in a couple of weeks for sure. And if not, I'm kind of okay with that because, like, you know, and this is so. Well, I mean, it would take a trade of. A trade that I'd do in a heartbeat. Let's put it that way. But my Flash Gordon pin, which is awesome and it looks great, but not my favorite to play at the moment. I could definitely upgrade from it. And my Baby Pac-Man, which we do have videos of, like the restoration process on our video channel or whatever. YouTube channel.
We do have those on YouTube. Yep.
And it would also take like $700, which is a deal, like a ridiculous deal. But like part of me is like, if it doesn't come up, I don't really want to spend the $700, but I really want a Ghostbusters. So if it does come up, which I hope it does, I would do that in a heartbeat, you know? So, we'll find out. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks. That would be kind of ridiculous because then all of a sudden I'd have like this ridiculous, amazing pinball collection. Like remember like the Southern Fried Game Room Expo happened in like June, and that's where I got the bug there, where I was like, maybe I should start getting some pinballs. I'm kind of tired of the crap that I have right now, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I got rid of a couple things, and then I've kind of gone nuts since then. So if I got that Ghostbusters, I'd have the Ghostbusters, brand new in-box Ghostbusters. I'd have the Roller Coaster Tycoon, which is awesome. Bride of Pinbot, Whirlwind, and Earthshaker, which are all, like, in my opinion at least, like, amazing titles. So, they're my favorite titles. So I don't think I could go wrong with that. But I kind of want to get rid of the 2 for 1, just because I want to clear some space in my house. But I keep ending up with the same amount of arcade machines regardless. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much been consuming. The Pinbot has been pretty much consuming my entire time. And I got to say this, too. For my Whirlwind, I'm on the CPR Playfield pre-order list for a new playfield on that, and I'm kind of like, I hope you guys take your time. Which it's been in the process of being CNC cut for like 4 months at this point, and I'm like, it's like fifth down the line of like what they're producing right now.
Right.
I'm kind of like, you guys can take as long as you want. Like you can take until the end of the year, because I know I said I wanted to do another one, but that doesn't mean I really want to do another one.
Right. It's always like, it sounds like a good idea to say that, but then like, you're like, do I really want to?
And second of all, the money. I don't really want to spend the money again right now, right this second. So somewhere down the road this week, it's really, the Pinbot has really got me inspired, like on my old stuff, System 11 stuff at least, maybe even the Bride of Pinbot as well. I might just do them up. I mean, I've got this friend that every time he has a pinball party, I always feel like inadequate when I go there, because his stuff is like spotless and mint and like perfect. And I'm like, I want that. I want that for my pinballs. I've had that for my arcade machines, but I want that for like pinballs. And that seems like such a higher task, So anyway, so there was a little bit of news that came out this week. Just moving on from that, because I'm sure people are bored with my conversation about my pinballs. One of the things I'm really excited about, you sent me some
Daytona.
I don't know how many times we've talked about how big of fans we are of Daytona, like in this podcast.
No, it's phenomenal. Dude, Daytona, before we get into this, because I want to because not only are we Daytona fans, we're huge racing fans,
like video game racing fans.
Yeah. I don't fucks around with the NASCAR or the Indy or anything like that. But
I don't know anything about
racing
games,
yeah, me either. But racing games are freaking phenomenal. The one thing I always feel like, Daytona. We have our alt runs and our I don't know what pole positions and everything else. Yep. I feel like Daytona actually gets overlooked on the innovation front for what it did for not only arcade racers, but kind of perfecting the multi-view perspective of racers in general, from the hood view to the bumper view to the behind the car. I mean, that was kind of where they really knocked that out of the park.
Well, with the graphics too, like the pixel mapping or whatever, the car didn't look like a big rectangle with a bunch of squares on it and stuff. Like, it didn't look like a bunch of pixels. They actually mapped the stuff on top of the pixels, so it actually looked like, at the time, now you look at it, you're like, that doesn't look real. But at the time, I'm like, oh my God, that looks real. Look at the cloud move across the windshield and stuff like that. I was like, that looks real,
Yeah, I think it just feels like that was the beginning of what became the expectation or the standard for what a racer. The standard for what a racer.
It still is. It's the greatest arcade racer of all time, bar none.
Easily,
it is
easily.
I don't think anybody can argue that. I really don't. It's the highest grossing game Sega ever released, ever, on any platform. Pinballs, arcades, whatever. It's the highest grossing game that they ever released.
And it's fun, and oddly enough, it still holds up and it's still fun. Depending on the platform you're playing it on, but I mean,
The actual arcade platform is
fucking a blasty
It's still awesome. I've had my Daytonas for years now, and I still go out all the time. Sometimes I'll get on like for months at a time. I'll go out every single night and play Daytona. It's that much fun. That's the one game that I've never, ever, ever gotten tired of. Like never. I can always go out and play Daytona. It's weird.
Daytona's always a blast.
I get tired of everything, and Daytona is not one of the. It just defies logic in my brain. I don't understand how it's still good, but I don't think there's any argument against it being the greatest arcade racer of all time. It just is.
And if anyone wants to argue,
go for it.
Try. I mean, I just don't see where you could argue that it's any better. But anyway, so that said, Daytona 3.
Sega, and I don't even know who owns Sega now, you know?
I'm not even sure how the licensing... Sega is still a company, but they've kind of effed up their licensing, I think, with some of the deals for Sonic and some of the other stuff. But Sega is still Sega, and Sega still owns Daytona, as far as I know.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if they're a developer and a publisher, or a publisher and a developer, or a developer and a. I have no idea what they do at this point, but they've got a new Daytona.
They sure do, and if I'm right on this, or correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from you, so I'm repeating what you said and what you had sent to me as well. But it's actually for arcades, right?
Yeah, it's an arcade. It's an arcade Daytona, man. It looks awesome. I don't know where to play it yet.
I don't know where to play it either.
I've tried to track it down, and every article I find is just like new Daytona, and I'm like,
yeah, like maybe Dave & Buster's or something. I'm like I'd go pay their outrageous prices to play that.
I get the Tower of Beer every time I'm at Dave & Buster's.
Well, you need the Tower of Beer to like not have to think about what kind of crazy ass shit they use for their credits or whatever. Yeah, so you just keep pumping money into the thing, recharging your card. Before you know it, you spent like $50 on like 3 games of fucking air hockey or something.
Well, yeah. Not to mention the Tower of Beer is like $36, and you're like, how many beers is this? And they're like 3. And you're like, fuck. It looks cool in the tower though.
Yeah, well, that's why I would always pregame when I go to Dave & Buster's.
Oh, you always got to get lit before you go, and then you get 1 tower of beer for yourself.
$36.
It is like $30.
Anyway, I would go to Dave & Buster's for this. I generally don't go to Dave & Buster's, but anyway, so I've been watching videos of it, and they have like the linked 8 Daytonas.
Yeah. And
I believe because when Daytona came out, they had 3 different cabinet versions. They had 4 different. I'm sorry. They had the single sit down. They had the twin, which was the most popular, which was 2 connected, which was
everywhere. Pizza Huts.
Which had the billboard on top of both of them. They had the upright.
And if I just want to jump in real quick. Do you remember when places like Kmart and Walmart and shit had arcade games in them right up by the checkouts?
Mm-hmm. Right in the right when you came in the door, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when you came in the door, yeah, there was Daytonas. Man. That was the shit. I wish that was still a thing. Anyway.
Yeah, me too. So they had the upright version as well, which was a little less common, but I've seen plenty of them around. And then they had the deluxe version of Daytonas. And I don't know, did you ever see a deluxe version of Daytona? It had one of those big DLP screens in front of it. It was like 50 inches or something like that. One of the big DLPs like you used to have in your den. That if you look to the side of it, you can't see anything in the image. You have to be
yeah. No, that was a projection screen.
Oh, projection screen.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the DLPs were similar, but yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what it was, but the deluxe had this huge screen in front of it, and the car that you sat in was kind of actually separate from it, so the screen was like in front of you. And it actually moved. Like, so if you turned left, it would move left. It would like tilt left, you know what I'm saying? Or if you moved right. So the deluxes were cool like that. So the new ones, the Daytona 3s, look more like the deluxes to me. They have this big like flat screen, like looks like a 50-inch or something like that in front of you. And it looks like they may have like the deluxe bodies where they move back and forth. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. But they, in a couple of the videos I saw, they have like 8 connected together, just like the original as well. And they have the original colors as well, which from left to right was red, blue, yellow, green, red, blue, green, yellow, black, pink, orange, and light blue or something.
Right.
So anyway, they have, and I'm just doing that off my memory for this, but they have all of them linked together, and they all are like designated that particular color. So, man, it looks like they have like a classic mode. I don't really know much about it from what I've seen on the videos, but it looks like they have like a classic mode that is like the original, oval track, like the beginner course and stuff. And then they have a whole bunch of like different things, but I don't know what you've seen, but like one of the things that really gets me excited on it is that like it has like a constant video feed of your face and stuff. So like when you're challenging friends and stuff, there will be like a little arrow that points to your car, and then it kind of branches out and has your face on there, like in real time or whatever. So I don't know. Multiplayer on that looks dope. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I want one. I just want the game. I don't even know. I don't even need the arcade game. I just want the game.
We'll see what they did, because it looks like there's some like crazy looking other types of cars. I don't really know anything about stock cars or anything like that. I know I like racing games, but it has some stuff with like spoilers, and I don't know what kind of cars they are, but it has a lot of different types of cars, it looks like, and styles. But yeah, the multiplayer on that looks awesome. Like really, really awesome. Like I said, when you're like passing people, it has like it branches out and shows their live feed of the other person's face and stuff. The screen looks huge.
Yeah, they look like they're actually like 40-inch screens right on them. I mean, they
probably are. Yeah,
it looks really, really cool.
I know. I'm like, how much to buy one of these from Sega? I'm like, maybe forget Ghostbusters.
I don't know. I'd imagine what, $5-6 grand, maybe. I don't know. It depends. They could be upwards of that, but I would imagine $5-6 grand. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how they sell them too. I'm gonna look that up for next. I'm gonna look that up for our next podcast. But is there anything I missed on as far as like what you've seen from it? Like,
no, you got it all, man. I just remember seeing it and being like, oh my god, where do I go play one?
Yeah, it looks awesome. So, I mean, I'm so a lot of times like remakes of the original, and like some of it's a remake of the original, but it looks like there's a bunch of extra tracks and stuff like that. I'm not for that, but this I'm totally for. So anyway, we forgot to. I know we knew about that in our last podcast, but I think we forgot to, or we ran.
Yeah, we didn't get to it.
We didn't quite get to it. So other than that, I don't know what else was there. Switch news.
Yeah, I mean they played some Switch on Jimmy Fallon. I don't know. Looks awesome. Still want one.
Yeah.
It's gonna play Nintendo games. I mean nothing big there. I don't know, man. I know there's more, but much like sometimes we kind of just go, hey, let's do a podcast.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have anything beyond that, to be honest, but I'm really excited about what I got going on right now. And I'll try to post some pictures, but I always feel like I'm kind of robbed with the pictures. Like it looks so amazing in real life that like I can't capture it. And that part's frustrating. So like I'll try to take some pictures of my Pinbot and stuff like that. Like, by the way, I just ordered a new Vortex ramp for it too, so I'm super stoked. Everything's gonna be like brand new on that thing. So anyway, I pimped it out. Now I do have a man-sized predicament for next time, but we'll talk about it some other time. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, man. So you got anything else?
No, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we needed to knock one out after our little vacation we had, and I think I think next week we'll probably be back a little more prepared. But
yeah, right on, dude. Well, cool. Well, for RetroGameFix.com, the Retro Jones podcast number 98, this is Mitch.
And this is Mike.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
There's a way this city dies.